What's the old saying? A good man knows his limitations. So Kubota now have 5 different variants of their FC range, their front deck collectors. They've got the FC2s, FC3s and FC4s. Today we have the FC3 261. Now in this video we are going to be checking out the features, the benefits, the specs and seeing what this machine is capable of. But I know what you're all thinking, and that is that something looks a little bit different on the front. And you're right, because this is fitted with the Flail deck. Now you can get rotary deck options, which we'll talk about later in the video, but before we do that, let's have a look at all of the features on this machine. It has a 26 horsepower 3-cylinder diesel engine, dual pedal hydrostatic operation, 4-wheel drive and diff lock, patented HTC hydrostatic traction control, a suction turbine, level operated hydraulic deck lift system, joystick controls and right hand console panel, adjustable suspension seat with armrests, anti-vibration platform mounts, built-in storage compartment, USB port and phone holder, foldable ROPS bar and seat belt, an 800 litre grass collector, adjustable tilt steering wheel, LED lights and a digital dash with everything you need. So I'll go into some more detail on some of those features later on, but I think it's time we went and done some cutting. So let's start her up and get going. Right, so I'm going to start with some nice short grass to start with, because on the back of this Flail there's actually a set of rollers. Now I'm really intrigued to see how good a striped finish we can produce, because obviously the Flail is flailing it up and it's going back through the machine into the box. Now I'll show you how that works shortly, but I think we just need to do some mowing first and see how good we can get that finish. Now the FC range has been designed and built specifically for municipal and professional contractors, sports turf operatives, large estates, holiday parks and campsites. As mentioned earlier, today we have got the 53-inch Flail deck fitted, but there are other options available too, including a 50-inch regular rotation deck, a 51-inch reverse rotation deck, and even other front-mounted attachments like a vacuum hose and a snow blade. The FC range is manufactured in a Kubota-owned factory in Italy. All the key components are built in-house, which creates a streamlined manufacturing process, helping to reduce supply issues and avoid delays. That is leaving a lovely striped effect, isn't it? Beautiful striped effect. I'm really surprised of how well that's done that. So the Flails have left like a lining mark up through, because normally with Flails you wouldn't see what it looks like behind, because it leaves all the grass behind, but this obviously is picking it up and leaving a lovely striped finish behind. Well impressed with that. Now I still don't have a full box, but I think we better go and just try the low tip feature, and then later on we'll try the high tip feature. Now, I think before we go and test it on some other types of grass, I want to show you how this machine actually works. How does it get the grass from there into there without blocking? So this might be obvious for some, but the grass goes in underneath the deck and then it goes into the Flails, and the Flails are what cuts it. Now there's a big tube going along through here with all the Flails mounted onto it, which we will show you later because something else I want to show you. Right, so in under here you will find an auger. Now the grass gets thrown back into here via the Flails, and it goes into the auger this side. It makes the grass travel along there, and on this side it makes it travel along there into the middle. So that pushes all the grass into this area here. Behind the seat we have this tunnel. Now in the bottom of there, you may be able to see, you may not be able to see, there is a turbine fan, which is what then sucks the grass up through that tube and throws it up through this spout. And then it throws it up through here into the grass box. What you're saying, James, how does the grass come up through the bottom of the grass box and get evenly distributed in the back? So we lift up the back, we'll pop the prop down, and then in here, you'll see that the grass comes up the grass pipe onto this chute. Now this chute oscillates from side to side, evenly distributing the grass, allowing a lot more material to be held in the box. And then you've got your grass box sensor here on the left, which tells you when your grass box is full. Right, so the most important thing about any mower is airflow, whether it's blades on a deck or whether it's a turbine fan with this one blowing up through. You need somewhere for it to go. And the back of this one, you've got these two vents here. And to be able to keep them clean, you've got this removable mesh at the top. So the wind would come up through the grass pipe and then through this and then out the back. And the cleaner this is, the cleaner any grass box is, the better your collection will be. Now this mower is not designed to cut this sort of ground. It's a front flail with a collector. But a lot of people will ask, oh, it's a flail, it will go through anything. So we're going to see what we can do with this sort of ground. We're not going to go near the rushes, and there's no point. But there's some sort of longer grass here, some dry grass, some deep, thick stuff in the bottom, so we can see what it can do. And if it does it, brilliant. If it doesn't, you can see where its limitations lie. Right, I've put the deck up high, full revs, engage my flail, make sure it's up to start with, put it into boost, and turbine on, in float, handbrake off, and we're going. I think my box is already full. I'm not surprised, but I am surprised with what that is achieving. That is mad. Admittedly, I'm going very, very slow. If you're going to do this, you're going to have to. You can't go into this at the same speed you can 4 inches of grass. Look at that. That is madness. Right, I think I better try the high tip feature while I'm here. Up. And out. And down. I gotta love a high tip. I just realised it wasn't my grass box sensor, it was the beep. It's actually telling me I'm low on the fuel. There we go. Right, let's cut another swath. What's the old saying? A good man knows his limitations. Well, this machine has found it because I blocked it. So what do you do to unblock it then? That's the question. There's an R-clip in here. And then I think you take that pipe off without losing your R-clip. And then you can get into your pipe back there and spoon out your grass. That's not actually that bad, to be fair. Yeah, that is chock-a-block. Lovely. Well, they made that quite simple actually. I thought that was going to be an absolute ball ache. But that is nice and easy. The hardest part about it was getting the R-clip back in. But the beauty of this machine is that you push that lever that way and that closes off the flap in the deck so that it doesn't collect. So let's try it in that formation and see how we get on then. Now, to put that performance into perspective, this area has not been topped since this time last year. Back then we used a 240 horsepower tractor with a 2.7 metre flail topper. Today we're using just 26 horsepower. That's only around 10% of the size with a 1.35 metre cutting width. Of course, if you're only flail mowing, a standard Kubota F-Series with a flail deck would do the job. But this FC range offers so much more. Well, blow me. I wasn't expecting it to do that at all. Not even the goat behind us thought we would do that. Now, before we go and load up to go and mow some proper commercial ground, I want to show you something really, really interesting about these flails. Now, I've never seen it on any other flail mower, so let's just open it up and have a quick little look. Right, so we've opened up the back of the Flail mower, so you can actually get a much better view of the auger now up through that I was talking about earlier on. Nice bit of kit that. Now, the flails are just in behind here. Now, with these flails, as I said, they're Y flails, but with this mower you can have options on which flails you have. You can have sort of the, I'd call them sort of hammerhead flails or whale tail flails. I think Kubota call them something different. But you can also convert this flail head into a scarifier, so you can actually put vertical blades within it. Now, Kubota say it's more of a sort of a dethatching unit rather than it is a proper full-on scarifier, just due to being that this is a flail mower, but it'll be able to tickle the top and get out a lot of that thatch that you're looking to get out. So let me show you how you can quickly change these flail blades, because there's no bolt on them, they're magnetic. On the side here, there's a special tool. So with this specialist tool, you can put it over your flail bracket and then push the pin out, and that pushes the magnet out. So you can then access these flails and take out the flails or change them, take them off to sharpen them. It's so much easier than having nuts and bolts, and they just pop in, back on, just like that. So, maintenance wise, obviously those flail blades are brilliant. The ease of maintenance, the ease of use, and it reflects in the back of this machine, because obviously you've got a lot sort of covering this machine to be able to get to it. Now, in under this cover here, you've obviously got the engine. I know, who knew? Who would have thought that would have been under there? Now you've got your dust screens on your radiator, and you've also got another screen here where you can pull up and access your belts and pulleys and everything under there into your gearbox. Now everything seems to be really accessible, because there's a lot of machines on the market where you go and open up this and you're like, I can't get to anything. All your filters, everything there is, you can put your hand on it all, and that's the most important part from a service engineer's point of view or from an owner's point of view. The easier that is, the better everyone's life's going to be. Now, every commercial operator wants to know how a mower will perform in wet conditions, so I waited for a rainy day to test this area, and as you can see, it's cutting through 6 inches of lush green damp grass, bringing it down to around 2 inches, and it's collecting the clippings at the same time. What I have found though is if you push it too hard, instead of choking, it just leaves the excess behind, saving you the hassle of unblocking. The hydraulics on the mower deck are set in the float position, so it follows the contours of the ground naturally, and as you can see, for a wide mowing deck, it is doing it perfectly. Now it came time to empty the collector. The process was quick and effortless, with very little downtime, because let's be honest, there's nothing worse than slow hydraulics when you're trying to get a job done. Now I didn't need to use the high tip function here, but it is available, making it easy to tip into a trailer or truck if needed. So one other fantastic feature that is on this Kubota is their patented HTC system, which is their hydrostatic traction control. Now, I think the best way of describing that is similar to a differential system, where one wheel will spin faster than the other when you're turning corners to stop you ripping up the turf or the grass. Obviously, being traction control, you've also got that extra ability to be able to hold the traction for longer periods. So with this new system here, it's patented by Kubota, so it's not available on any other machine. So that was certainly a bombardment of information within 15 minutes on a very feature-rich machine. There's just so much to talk about on it. There's so much going on, and I really, really like it. Now, there's features that I really, really like, which I probably haven't even mentioned, and that is like, there is a port to be able to plug in some jump leads in underneath. There's a battery isolator switch. There's a plug to be able to power other implements onto the front. The softness of the steering wheel, you can just see it's very Italian. Everything is just very nicely laid out. It's very, very simple. And yeah, I'm very, very fond of it. There's a couple of little niggles I've got. One is, as you get off the machine, you put a lot of pressure onto this left-hand console, where you've got a little tray there for nuts, bolts, or even your diesel filler cap, and it just seems like it could just be doing with a handle there, one to be able to get on, one to be able to get back off again. The other is the diesel filler cap is a little bit awkward to get into, so if you're filling it up with a can like I did the other day, then the funnel doesn't really sit quite square. It's almost a two-man job, so it'd be nice if that was just a little bit up. But other than that, what an absolute weapon. It's a flail on the front and a collector at the back. You know, its natural habitat is in sort of 4 to 6 inches of grass. It absolutely loves it. But it can do that longer stuff if you need to, albeit slowly, and it can leave a lovely rollered lined finish. There's very few mowers on the market now that will leave a roller finish, and this done a superb job. So I'm very impressed overall. Now Kubota have got a national network of dealers, so my advice is to get a demo yourself. Try it out for yourself, see what it's like, compare it against other machines on the market and make sure it's right for you first. The Kubota network of dealers are fantastic. They'll look after you till the day is long. So yeah, that is the Kubota FC3 261. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheerio.